Holy, we're ready to go, and we're on the second best of one now here, where Sharks, unfortunately, were not able to find themselves victors on train. ODDIK taking that away, and now it's a second chance for them to maybe get themselves another win in the category for them on Nuke, but it's Laz and Paladin to take you through this action here for South America, and we're about to find out if Sharks got enough in the tank.
Well, this is one of those maps where they have definitely got reps on, at least Gafolo has as a caller, but we saw them play the Bounty Hunters, and it was an absolute doozy. We'll see what ODDIK have done on the other end. I feel like I have a little bit more trust in Woody, but only time will tell. Outside play here for ODDIK on the pistol, and Punk, the new blood, finding a P250 headshot, being given the raid boss, and now they're going to run down RDN, you'd like to think, but he's still fighting within the lockers. Still having a chance to have some impact, but Terra has completely circumvented him. He's moved all the way into heaven, has an opportunity at a kill right on his plate if he wants it, if he wants to scale in, but he's still hungry for that hell player. Caught between two mines here is Terra, and he does complete it onto RDN. Now they can control this A bomb site.
What?
And Woody with a 90-degree flip, make it 3 in total. What a beautiful little sequence there from the captain.
Oh my god, we were talking a lot about, what he can be able to bring into this map, like feeling a little bit more confident about his calling, but man, his frag's just getting a triple kill to open things up. Why the hell not? But look, Sharks again, like in these mid-round situations, just seem to really just look a little like disoriented. They don't know what they're really doing, but ODDIK, I mean, again, all, the adversity's thrown at them, they do well to handle the pressure, and getting that opening pistol is definitely going to do. So, I mean, I just can't believe they even got away with that. It was looking decent for the Sharks, but now the Sharks are going to be able to find themselves. They're not going to even go for any like gamble of a stack. They have the double outside, looking for the double players going lower, so they kind of have a little bit of an inkling here. But now Nante has to be careful. The pistols are getting up close and personal, actually making some good damage thus far. These are getting a little bit awkward. And why are these gunfights going the favors? What is happening right now? This is messy. This is sloppy, but Punk at least can get it cleaned up.
It should be okay. Now at this long range, these AK should get it done, but man, okay, another tink as well for Koala, but yeah, all good. I've got to commend Terra, man. I mean, having to take over Case-Lock's position and having to change out that old guard and bring in some new blood, and finding the amount of impact that he does as an aggressive rifler is super important for the development of this team. I mean, I already feel like he's worthy of being on this team at this point, and the amount of impact that he had on Train alone makes me very excited for this player's future.
Oh, no doubt at all. Yeah, he's already looking so stellar. He's looking like he's meshing well with the team. You absolutely love to see it. And that's always a big thing we talk about, right? I mean, we say, like, look, like the grassroots getting some of these players an opportunity, and Nate, though, he's going to find himself plenty of opportunity, and he finds that double kill. And look at this, it's a massacre! Within the blink of an eye, within seconds, this round is already over, and ODDIK, they just do a beautiful intertake, and they take no prisoners.
When ODDIK have an opportunity to use Naite like a wrecking ball, he can just demolish bomb sites on the T side. He has done so much good work across multiple ODDIK iterations, and it seems as though we're kind of turning a corner as to how Woody wants to utilize him effectively. And that round right there showcases the brilliance that he has when he's got a couple of well-placed flashbangs and just a leader that is very heavily believing in his ability as a player. And that was just beautiful, a beautiful little sequence there from Naite. And of course, it does feel like a lot of times there has been doubts on this guy, especially in sort of like mid to late round situations. It feels like he doesn't have the wherewithal to figure himself out, but when you just put him in these kind of situations where you say, go and kill, he will do it for you if the setup is there.
Yeah, and that's the kind of the players you need too. So it's a good point you bring up, like someone like Nate that can just kind of go in, doesn't care at all. He's just gonna do what he needs to do, and he gets told, and he says, "Yes, sir, no problem." So 3-0, looking good so far from ODDIK. Looking to see if they can find themselves, like I said, that double win here today, maybe. And now Nate once again finds himself an opening duel. He's going to be blind. He can't see anything, and he still gets the perfect angle for it. And now they can even just backpedal on this, and they do. Look at that. You can see Sharks were ready for this with some decent utility and positioning, but now they're just going to cool things off.
Cheeky work there from Nate. And now they can completely reset. If they want to pack outside, they can. They don't have the smokes, though. That's the worrying aspect of it. It does leave them open to gunfights against these long-ranged Eagles, but no player in heaven, no player in ramp, so they can cross safely if they choose, whether they know it or not. Eventually, they will come up to a roadblock with this player downstairs and Nyx got a little bit of a timing here, but just off the mark. Punk will find his man, and that lower bomb site should be up for grabs at this point.
Yeah, I was thinking if they can be able to keep this flawless, that would have been really, really nice. But RDN again, man, you just can never count him out with a dig. Koala on a bit of a nice little bit of an off angle with a 5-7. What? Oh my god!
No.
He gets the double dink, and then actually Guafola is going to be able to help him out. So this thing is just turned on its head a little bit now. The bomb's going to be dropped in the worst position. That smoke is even going to make it more of a problem. AK is going to be picked up here now, fully equipped here on the CT side. The time is ticking. They might just have to abandon this plan. They might not have any ground to work with, and just coming up with a hero play once again from Koala, someone we talked a little bit about. And man, oh man, does he shine bright in a round that was looking so dark.
He is such a good anchor, man. I mean, sincerely underrated in this Brazilian scene. I have seen this guy dig Sharks out of so many sticky situations. And this one's one of the better ones I've seen. Dinks on the 5-7. And again, not over-committing to these gunfights, giving himself up as far as his whole body is concerned. Stalls just for long enough for Guafola to come in through the control glass, and it just looks sublime there. Well done on the eco, dislodging this little bit of momentum that Nate was able to spring forth for the T side. And with that, Nyx does get himself his AWP straight away. Start to exert some pressure, but Nate is going to continue this unrelenting approach to this upper bomb site, charging through. Punk will find the entry first, but Nate has already gotten to the back of Silo, and Punk is trading himself up a storm. Wonderful work there from the newest player. And with that, the Sharks will have to back away.
I honestly just love teams that kind of, put the foot on the gas and they just really start to go really, really hard on like a site like that. Like, I love these intertakes. They've been quite clean. Like, honestly, they feel like they're in full cruise control. They know exactly what angles they have to look at. It doesn't even look like there's a lot of hesitation, because you can see some teams when they have like new additions to the roster where like some players might not remember like the system or what you're supposed to do or who's supposed to look at what angle to cover each other. But I mean, ODDIK have just looked so polished thus far. And I mean, the fact that they're doing this just back to back to back and putting, Sharks again in a save scenario is just, I wonder if they're going to call this timeout maybe in the next couple minutes, just because they might need to. Yop's going to be saved as well as the AK.
Oh.
And I'm thinking we're out. We disconnected? Did we lose the server?
Oh.
No, we did. Uh-oh, that's
we
awkward.
might have. That's no bueno. I think everybody involved should have been able to save there. But, an awkward scenario. We will get that sorted out as soon as possible. Please bear with us. But, yeah, good work there from ODDIK again. And it's very similar to that of Train, right? The Train T side, where Nate's sole goal was to charge through T connector, set up aggro chaos, and see what they can find on that A bomb site, right? Now on Nuke, it's try to get out of Squeak Door as fast as possible. Can you get an entry? Can you get out of that A bomb site as fast as possible? And both win conditions have come up the ODDIK way, and it is really putting a spanner in the works for Sharks, because they don't have a response. They don't have those anti-rush grenade protocols, and they don't have the individuals to respond either. And it's really causing some concern for that defense on both maps.
Yeah, it definitely is. And that's the thing, like it's a good point you bring up because again, if the CT side can't really seem to find an answer, like what utility to kind of, stop that rush or just put that aggression on a little bit of a halt, like then you're gonna have a lot more problems, right? So I mean there's a technical happening right now. So this gives Sharks a little bit more breathing room to figure out, okay, what do we gotta do differently in this kind of a scenario? Because again, it feels like ODDIK are just kind of, pointing towards that inner sight. They're like, you know what, we want that and it's gonna be ours, and they get it, right? And it hasn't really been that much of a contention. So Sharks do need to kind of figure out a different setup. I think they, like you said, were able to keep that AK and op in their hands. So we'll have to see where they're going to place that op. Maybe put it out yard, just try something a little bit differently, focus a little bit heavier on that inner sight. But look, I mean, so far looking so good from ODDIK because it feels like a lot of their executions have been quite clean. But Sharks, there's a lot more improvement needed.
Yeah, I think maybe you can try to set Nyx down the secret stairs. Maybe have him pop up and take the marshmallow fight. It's a viable option. I mean, there's so many viable options with an AWP on this map, right? I mean, it's on the Opper specifically to take matters into his own hands and be decisive when you're given the round in the palm of your hand. And unfortunately for a younger player like Nyx, he's not cultivated that swagger yet, and I take that all back. He's got aggressive outside, he's found his man, and he's already put the hurt on the ODDIK side, bringing them into a 4v4 and getting a dink on a Woody as well.
Yeah, not bad at all. I mean, Nate finally getting, a little bit put to the grail on this one's a nice little bit of an impact kill here for Sharks, but let's see what they can do to capitalize. But Koala now holding a tight angle here. Is he going to get flushed out of the molly? It's thrown deep. That shadow advantage going to go in his favor. Honk now trying to see what he can do. A self-pop flash, and he goes wide. He will be able to win that fight. Koala just eats it. So now it's down to the 3-on-2, the advantage for Sharks, something we haven't been able to see for quite some time. RDN still playing aggressive here in the hut. Close with Gafolo, but again, the positioning here from the T's, they got plenty of time to work with. They still got 45 seconds, but they're going to have to make a play here soon. Woody looking like he's going to get ready for the... Is he going to just save this, or is he going to go... Oh, he's going to go the backwards way into the lobby. Okay, he's going to go from the roof down. Not bad at all, just in case someone's going to be able to spot him into hut. But look at them, they're going to actually still investigate on this. This kill needs to happen. That's already 1-2! Oh, that is beautiful! Eats them alive with a double. Now things have turned around completely with 19 seconds remaining. And look at that! ODDIK once again and again in these mid-round situations.
I'm going to be honest, I don't even think that they were really having a game plan there. Those kills were gift wrapped to Punk there. And I mean, it's still hard to convert on that second frag, but individually showing up when it matters in that man disadvantage scenario, and they completely pants the Sharks. Eco situation, but max loss means there's still guns and danger afoot, but ODDIK will be grinning from ear to ear because they got away with that. Just an incredible case of murder.
And that's the thing, it feels like ODDIK just... They get these situations in their favor like that, which is just madness, right? But Doc's been a little bit quiet, but he finally gets himself a nice little bit of a dig shot. Oh, Woody, I thought he was maybe going to go for the pre-spam. I thought he was just going to just X-ray through the smoke, but no. Now it's going to be Nyx and Gafolo here. A little bit of a crossfire. Smoke's still going to be a bit of an issue. But is Woody going to go for the peek? No, he's just going to post back. This is good because now, again, they're just going to try to clear things off. They're going to say, okay, nobody's here. Woody might be able to be the element of surprise on this, but look at his teammates have already now pushed through ramp. They're already going to go for the backstab. Do these CTs expect it? Ponk once again be able to have good spray control into this, but now Gafolo needs to be able to find an opener with this Khalil.
Oh, no!
It might be a little too late. They run past each other. Oh, dear goodness. Okay, Gafolo's going to go down. This might just have to be save territory once again here for the CTs. Unless these guys go into this inner sight and they can find an opening some way, somehow. But look at them once again here, Paladin. They're just waiting. They're just biding their time. They know exactly what they're doing. They're in full control of the situation.
They're going to split into this A bomb site. Woody has been sitting alone with the bomb for so long, and they've never been able to single him out. And now with 20 seconds, RDN has rotated downstairs, leaving Koala on an island. He's done so many heroics on so many limited weaponry, and he found his man. He's found one and not the second. Nearly has Matios, but ODDIK again in the late round, just string it all together. They are reading this map so well right now. And no matter what kind of disadvantage they have, they find a way to find some chemistry and spark a fire back into place.
Well, I mean, look, we talked about, the kid you play to watch, right? I mean, he's sitting at 12-2 right now. Like, he's been able to find himself multi-kill after multi-kill. I didn't know who it was going to be. I thought maybe Nate was going to keep himself going. I mean, maybe Terra, somebody like that, right? Just given the performance we saw on Train. But, nah, the new addition wants to be able to prove his worth as well. Doing so much lifting on this one. And now Hut Control trying to be grabbed up here from the Sharks. Gafolo's going to be able to find the double kill here. A little bit of a smoke criminal now. Gets himself out of this situation. Escaping like a ninja in the night. Now putting them on a 5-on-3 advantage. With 50 damage inflicted against Gafolo, or down to 48 damage inflicted against him now. Bomb still in control of the T's here. Paladin, I mean, this is still where, again, ODDIK, you can never count them out in these kind of situations.
This is a much harder situation, though. They've lost that opening aggression, and they've got the guys of this smoke to potentially get downstairs. That is the way back in, but they've just missed the vent, and now they're going to contact their way out. Doc is looking the wrong way. He's completely given up the angle, and this should bait an RDN. Ponk does fall, but now RDN, he's really stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's got to battle his way out. The molly is good, sets himself up for success, and Woody will find his man. Slow down in the round now again with 35 seconds left on the clock, but again, they've got to find their way downstairs somehow. I don't know how that's going to be, and maybe they'll never even get there because Terra has fallen. And it's all onto the captain now. Any damage is good damage here at this point, but he's just holding on to his weapon. He's prioritizing that gun. And the Sharks will find themselves their second. And that all comes off the back of finding an answer to the door rush. I mean, Nate has been able to get out so many times from that position, but Gafolo throws a secondary smoke and plays in between both of them, and that completely catches ODDIK off guard. So moving forward, they're going to have to find a little bit of an adaptation. Maybe nade open the smoke or something of the sort, but they're not going to be able to get through doors that easily anymore.
Yeah, it's a really good point you bring up. The fact the Sharks have been able to, again, they had that extra little bit of time where they really could just kind of figure out how do we solve this problem where they just keep rushing into the inner sight. Not looking like it's definitely the better pace for them. ODDIK, though, still up by 4. And they are going to actually go for a little bit of a funny buy here with the Tech 9. Terra is going to be equipped in the Mac 10 here for Woody. Still going to work around these AKs as much as possible. This is still a decent buy from the T side. Now they're trying to get themselves deeper on that ramp control. They're already grabbing radio. Koala is going to be the sole player here on the ramp. So again, he's been playing behind that red box on the other corner. Is he going to be expecting a bit of a commitment on this? Flashes galore. Everybody's pop flashing. He's going to get blind, but he's going to be able to get out of this. So he does get himself in a better position. Nyx, though, on the back skirts of hell. Can't seem to find it. Ponk gets annihilated here with that AK. And Koala now getting fed. Maybe no. He's not going to be able to get it. Matthews now being able to find himself another one. Getting into this lower site, that bomb is there, but they still have to worry about the threat of RDN, and he's going to get it done through control. Now it's down to the 2-on-4. Gafolo going to get just eradicated, and now it's from Terra! How does he find 3 kills just like that, and leaving it into a round where ODDIK once again steals something that shouldn't have been theirs, leaving it to Nyx all on his lonesome for a clutch situation. Misses the shot, it's a whipperino, and ODDIK find a 7.
Terra, man, I was gonna praise his craftiness to find a kill there in all of that chaos, but then the spamming of the door into a transfer headshot is unreal. And then to cap it off with a 3rd kill after swinging open to the door himself. I mean, you talk about impact. That's impact right there in spades. Woody understands how riled up his team must be at that point, winning a 2v4 on that lower bomb site. And they call attack timeout to smooth things over because, boy, oh boy, would that one just stir up the forces.
Oh, man. Sharks are just going to be kicking themselves for that, too. Like you said, a 4-on-2. They are in the biggest advantage. But, man, Terra just running around and just causing havoc. I mean, he was doing good work on train. Like he definitely was able to find himself some decent kills and some good rounds. But man, oh man, Nuke is a whole other ball game right now. So for Sharks, I mean, no op's going to be available. I mean, Gafola's just going to go with the MP9 full utility. They're not even committing to a kit. It looks like they're just going to go armor. So they're really just hoping, praising that no bomb's going to go down here. But ODDIK, once again, we've seen this position before. We've seen a 7-2, right? So, I mean, this is where we see, can they find themselves more of a lead on this T side? This time looking like a little bit more Nate, putting themselves into yard. This is where we used to see him pushing into that squeaky, if not hut. So they've done some repositioning.
Yeah, it's fine. At this point, they realize, okay, if we can't get outdoor anymore, then let's just play a little slower. And Nate can still be a force outside. We'll see what he does. Gets through a little bit of utility, but has been dealt with. So RDN does deal with that, and that does slow down this attack from ODDIK, but they've lost ramp. Seroterra has found a trade, but still in a man disadvantage. They're hoping that this extra rotation means that this upper bomb site is undermanned, and it absolutely is. Punk finds one, Woody with another, and it's all about trying to get Seroterra back onto this bomb site to help out his teammate. Especially considering that C4 is on the ground, but it's been recovered now. RDN has been spotted, but they don't know that Doc has baited up before that. So Seroterra will climb up the ladder, still will be that snake in the grass, and it's up to Woody for him to sell up the bait.
Oh, Doc goes for a good kill, so now Seroterra, a little bit of a pop flash. Oh, it's a little bit weird. It does land though. They actually just fake defuse it. Oh no, I think he's realizing he's not going to have a lot of time. That smoke, they're still not even committing to this defuse. Now they're finally going to go for it. Seroterra, is he even going to try it? No, he looks like he's just going to retreat this. He realizes, look, the smoke is just going to be the demise for me. So he'll allow that defuse to come through, but I was kind of getting a little bit nervous, I'm not going to lie. Like, Sharks were just taking a lot of time, and this is where I was said in the very beginning. I said, this is a team that's notorious for overthinking, but thankfully they react well to a chaotic situation.
Yeah, I think Seroterra might have made a sound cue there, but playing off of Woody's contact is most important. He is the only player that is not known in that situation. Jumps the gun just a little bit of a heat check, but it's alright at the end of the day. Still a commanding lead from ODDIK, especially on that offensive side. And with that, still an opportunity to crack through this money. Notch maybe 9 rounds, but still a lot of work to do. Lacking utility. Smoke double flash at a minute 30 is a real question mark, and Doc can't believe his eyes. A player right in front of him, and it looks like we might have had a server disconnect there once again, but
no,
we will update you as soon as we can, folks.
Oh, now the suspense. We have no idea. We have no idea what's going to happen here. Well, honestly, again, Paladin, I do love that we're seeing so much variety from ODDIK. Like, again, I think, we talked a lot about this, but we have to bring it back up, is the fact that Woody his calling has just been superb, right? I mean, it really does look like a totally different class of, IGLing versus like what the Sharks are bringing to the table.
Yeah, I think the variety, as you mentioned, is just so solid, right? They're very easily able to scale through outside if they want to. They have these great mid rounds where they're splitting back into the A bomb site. Their freezes are nice because I think a lot of teams, they like the concept of a freeze, but they don't necessarily know why they're doing it. They'll freeze and then they'll go back and do the same thing that they did before the freeze, and it completely misreads the situation. So I think Woody has a great understanding of what can happen following a call like that, and he's done very good to work around that style of calling, and the Sharks are falling right into those traps. So great work from Woody in that sense, especially in these late round situations that we'll continue to praise as this game goes on, because in South America, it's not a crazy thing to say, but there are a lacking amount of IGLs. I mean, you're seeing a lot of players now mantle up to that kind of captaincy on their own. You talk about Lux on Legacy. You talk about Coldzera now having to do it on Red Canids. There are a lot of different options. Vinny having forced to do it on Imperial. So there's a lot of IGLs that are still learning how to play within that role. And Gafolo is one of them. but Woody is not, and we've got to praise that in this kind of circumstance in this region of the good work that he's doing and how he's working with the pieces that he has, because this is a South American team that is not high in the pecking order, right? I mean, you've got so many more teams that are at the top end that can have their pick of the litter of the Brazilian talent that are out there. You think of Furia, you think of Imperial, Red Canids, Fluxo. I can keep going on and on. But a team like ODDIK, they've got to go digging. They've got to go into the diamonds in the rough, and they've got to find players to buck the trend and maybe find a way to make a run with lesser pieces. And so far, he's done a fairly decent job. Of course, I think the jury's still out on Punk, but you can see the work that Sarah Terra does individually, and you got to commend Woody on that aspect as well.
Yeah, and that's no doubt about it. I mean, that's the thing, like you said, like I think we're seeing a very different age of CS2 where like a lot of teams have that new IGLs. Like you said, you know, the list can go on forever, but that's kind of what makes it exciting too. And that's the other thing. I try not to harp too much on the Sharks team just because, you know, that they are kind of going through a scenario of like different IGLing and responsibilities are changing. So it does take time to get those things in motion. However, it's just, you know, when we kind of look at like, you know, records and like the history of what they've been able to do, it's hard not to get, you know, a little bit critical about that, just considering, you know, this is a team that was 8-0, like they actually were undefeated until earlier on today. But I mean, this is where a lot of teams are still going through the grinding point right now, figuring out what they need to do differently. What is their style of leading? How do they, you know, function as a team in the advancements of CS and how much has changed over the course of time? But it still makes it super exciting. And even right now, you know, like you said, Woody's been calling a phenomenal game. He's putting himself at a 7-4 right now on T-side Nuke. And it feels like, you know, for a team that has a lot of rebuilding that's happened very quickly, these guys have been able to get the pieces, you know, in the right place and getting things in good motion. But still waiting to hear about the technical issue, folks. We do apologize. We're just kind of waiting to hear a little bit more about what's specifically going on. But it does look like we're ready to go back into it. Thank goodness.
Nice. Let's get right back into it. Last round of the half here between ODDIK and Sharks. And see what ODDIK can do with this lesser purchase. They've got no utility. One singular grenade. And with this space, they're just going to try to scale through outside. Maybe Nite can find one, but he'll go down. Doc's slowly ramping up in this game. Bit silent on both of these maps, but better late than never. They do already have a player downstairs, mind you. Marius is already here. It's all about joining hands with him and finding a little more impact. But there are no rotations downstairs here, lads. And that is a gaping hole in this Sharks defense.
Oh, boy. Ay, ay, ay. This is not good, Paladin. And look at now, even Doc's going to try to reinvestigate on this, but he's the only one. He's the only one here, and he does get this kill. Plant's going to come through. Oh, God, what? They leave it fully exposed, and Doc gets away with double. That's something that shouldn't have happened at all, but Sergio Terra, okay, yeah, all right. A little one-tap, why not? Keep feeding the beast here. Now down to the 3-on-2. The T's need to find something. A Tech 9 now needed to bring this into motion. It's not going to happen. At least the Sharks can get themselves a little bit of dignity with a 5th round. It is going to be ending this half with a 7-5 scoreline. We're getting ready to take that short little break to close things off for this best of one. All right, welcome back. That short break is now done, and we're ready to go for the second half here for the remaining best of one here with ODDIK taking on the Sharks. And again, a similar scoreline that we've seen here before, and ODDIK putting themselves in prime position right now to maybe finding a double victory here tonight. But again, it's the CT side to see if it will be strong and true.
Aggression out from RDN. And he's immediately been punished by Matios Naite from the lockers. This has been a demolition from ODDIK, and these pistols have been just so firmly in the favor of ODDIK. Koala now wondering what the hell happened to his teammates outside. 1v5. And look, I think this guy's a very good player, but this one might be a bridge too far.
No faith, eh? No faith at all.
Do you have
he
it?
Can do it.
Do you have it?
No. Let's be real. I love to be proven wrong, though. Look, always love a good underdog story. Doesn't even have the bomb. Like, this couldn't be worse. He's got 3 guys just looking right at him out of mini. Unless he hits the most insane, 6 shots in the world. Maybe. Okay. Oh, God. Okay, wait, hang on. Okay, never mind. Okay, things are fine. Terra, get it done.
Yeah, there was always that heaven prong to deal with. The bomb down outside, and ODDIK just do so much great work. Matios and Naite conjoining for 4 kills, 2 each. And now you got a question to be answered for the Sharks. Do you force? And the answer is a resounding yes. But with no bomb plant, it does feel a bit meager. Don't necessarily know how they're going to get this done. Maybe a late ramp pop after the utility has been used, but it's going to be a tough ask here, lads. Let's see if they can get it up.
Ooh, that smoke's going to be good. Perfectly timed. They're going to run through it, though. They're not going to care at all. They're not worried about it. Monk's going to be able to find the opener, but no, ooh, he's trying to get out of this. Oh, man, he's getting just caught here. A little bit on the heels now, but the MP9, once again, maybe to be true. And yes, it indeed. He'll be able to find that double. Now, trades back and forth. Mully to just kind of kick back these CTs. Koala just trying to redo a clutch scenario here. An M4 on the corner that I don't think he was able to spot. He might not have enough time for it. He might not be able to get this despite being with 20 HP. And he's got 2 different players, 200 HP that he has to be able to find. Shadow advantage is going to pan out nicely for him. So now things have really just a little bit more of a ruse. But at least for ODDIK, they're going to get this round down. But man, was that a grinder?
Yeah, it is. And it does open the door to the Sharks if they want to force again. But with how this game is continuing to get further and further out of reach, maybe giving double digits and bending the knee it's the better option. But great work there again from Terra and Punk to get some solid kills and really slow down that offense, because they got a lot of space to get downstairs, and they even caught out Punk for a majority of that play. But he stalls long enough, and the rotations are in. Matios does some good work as well. And now the Sharks have to just kind of sit around and twiddle their thumbs, hope something is offered to them, and it definitely is. Woody pushes up through the T roof, and he still gets a kill. Doesn't get punished. And with that, he'll stick around for maybe, I'd argue, a little too much.
Yeah, now this is just desperate. And it will be a good flawless round here from ODDIK. So getting themselves in double-digit territory. So here we go. Round number 16 will be a little bit of destiny here to see if Sharks can be able to bring things back. But this is what we kind of saw before, right? I mean, we've seen in past where these guys do like to play a lot more slower CS. I don't feel like we always see that fast pace. They do have a really good spawn, though. So if they wanted to, if they have a good inner pop, they can definitely go for it here right now. They ain't doing it. Outside it is.
It's not a bad idea, Laz, but unfortunately, I think there's just hyper fear in the hearts of Sharks that if they do mess up that inner hit, the game's over. And with that, they do go for a little bit more of a slower approach. Koala gets one in the inner portion of the map, but they've still got to deal with this presence from Naite, and he gets cleared out. Doc very wary of that aggressive rifler's tricks. This boa constrictor of a round from the Sharks is really putting a bottleneck on ODDIK. 11 won't be found this early, but they'll still have their hand at it. 3v5, 2 players downstairs, and that's the main issue, Laz. Nobody to deal with and upper aggress if it does come through, but they are rerouting back to ramp. This could be absolutely disastrous.
Oh, no. And if Woody can be able to find himself a double kill here, even more of a problem. But he's expecting somebody to go for actually a bit of a flank onto Heaven. So now he's actually able to get himself the one. He can't seem to get that second, but a good trade back on the other side here onto the lower hallway. But now Shark's getting a bit of an inkling going, you know what? I think they are in lower. We're not going to go for this. But they only got 20 seconds. Again, they got to run the clock here. They got to realize that time is ticking here. And they have a free sight. Now they're going to get the nades through. Now they're finally dropping in. And there is a kit available here for the CT side. So, I mean, they could try to attempt this. They got the double mollies, a smoke as well, a nice shot as well.
They're going now.
Yeah, they got to go now. There's no doubt they're going to not commit to this. They have to. Bonk's going to be able to throw this wall flash if he wants to. This could be huge. If this lands, he might be able to find himself that double kill. Waiting for it. There it is. There's the one. And not the second, but the trade maybe to come back through. But no, it's going to be the IGL. The mastermind finds himself a given double kill.
He does a great job, Gafolo, sometimes to just individually dig his team out of some tough spots. And right there, 1v2 has to stand and deliver. Cannot shirk away from the spotlight. And he steps up to the plate and then some. Knocks it out of the park. ODDIK take attack timeout. They understand the gravitas, the knockout punch that was available for them. You got to commend the ability to pull that round back as much as they did. And now it's just, I mean, they've still got the foot on the throat of the Sharks still. You look at the economy, you look at the guns that they've got out on the board. This is still in touching distance for ODDIK. And they're going to take this timeout to really understand how they can close this game out.
Yeah, we'll see Woody with the op here too, so be curious where he wants to place himself. What do Sharks want to go for? Again, a really good spawn point. Still down by 4. Smoke wall going to get thrown for outside, so they go back for that yard control. Some good aggression here from Plunk, though. Looking like he was going to try to actually go for a bit of a swing, but he gets himself into secret stairs. They're going to try to redo this. Nate was there before. Wasn't able to find any sort of luck, but maybe second time will be the charm. Sharks just once again waiting things out again. They're not going to do too much. They're not going to advance themselves too much. They're just going to run the clock a little bit. See if these CTs get antsy, but oh man, that is beautiful.
Nice spam damage there from Madios. Great understanding of how that could have been played. And now, things get a little bit more difficult for the Sharks. They want to split into main, but Naite spotted a little bit of a shoulder. Great kill to find, and he spotted another one. Koala should be dead to rights, but oh my goodness, back turn. Gafolo completely catches Madios off guard. But Seratera and Ponk are here to pick up the pieces. Into the 2v1 goes Koala, and he can't come out the better. Woody there to close it out. ODDIK find themselves 11. And as I mentioned before, foot on the neck, and now constricting them even further.
Yeah, second timeout going to be used here for Sharks. And again, I mean, for them, like they're kind of in this position too, where you're at 11-6. I mean, the money is not the greatest, right? So you could just go for the light buy, put it all on the line, push to OT, or you force the purchase and try to get the win, right? I mean, these are not fun conversations to have because you're you're kind of a bit of a, pulling straws here. You're just like, I don't know, what is the better play to go for? And I mean, given just what we've seen, I mean, they're getting that outside control pretty decently with their executions, but are they going to be able to capitalize anything more? It does look like RDN's going to go, no, he's going to refund everything. I was thinking he was going to commit to this purchase, but yeah, this might just be a save and just going to send it all in for round number 19.
It's a real risk, Laz, but we'll see what they can do. That inner pop, as you mentioned before, could be a viable strategy with the SMGs, but they're still a little bit apprehensive. Now, finally taking lobby. They're throwing outside utility. Maybe they can repump into this inner hit. Nate is good in breaking open the smoke, but nothing is found. So, ideally, if Doc can clip one away, this inner hit could be much more potent, but this smoke is very well timed, and he finds one Naite in Gofolo. They should understand what's coming, especially considering these players were ahead. They're gonna go downstairs though, and Woody's there to cut off rotations. Matios as well. This is well put together from ODDIK. They've cut off every bit of avenues for the Sharks to dig themselves back into this one. They're running out of time, they're running out of rounds, and they're running out of money. This should be the beginning of the end for the Sharks, whether they like it or not.
Yeah, a lot rides on Doc here if he's going to be able to find the skill. Oh no, he brings a knife out. Oh, no reason at all. But okay. Map point's going to be here for, map and series point going to be here for ODDIK now sitting at the 12-6. Everything, all the marbles here for Sharks needing a Hail Mary run. 6 rounds in a row to push an overtime scenario. And even look at what they got to work with here. I mean, again, a mixture of MAC-10s with Galils. Oh boy, not what you need here if you're a Sharks fan. But what do we see different, right? I mean, we see them try to go for the ramp control. It's been semi-successful. We see them just go for this yard control, which I feel like's been good with the smoke walls. But what do they do differently? Nate, though. Oh man, Nate's trying to just be cheeky. Can't be able to find it, though. He's the one that takes all the damage. And he's actually going to pull back on this now, realizing he just shouldn't be fighting on this. And now keeping Sharks in more of a guessing game here, Paladin.
I'm surprised he gets out alive, but a little bit of potency still in the round for the Sharks, but their smokes are fading, and their time even more so. Flash? Oh, sorry, smoke. Good. A little bit of a gap here, but that flash should enable the cross safely. Terra does find one on that cross, and they should be aware of what's coming. Matios is definitely considering it. Bounds back up, nades open the door, waiting for a T to give him that duel that he's looking for. But he's calling the rotation over, and now that door being naded open looks very dangerous, considering Naite's got this line as well. I mean, the Sharks are so confused right now. They know that the ODDIK have these players rotated downstairs, and they have to go up. They do find Woody eventually going 1-for-1, and they will get a bomb plant. But this nade should do a little bit. There's only 10 damage, but with that kill on the Knicks, this should be a done deal if they play their cards right.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, the numbers are just at the biggest disadvantage here for the Sharks. And there we go from the heavens, and it will again get done. Terra, who other than him, putting himself at a 17-9. Honk actually sitting himself at an 18-9. So a lot of these guys are really having themselves a field day with this. But a 13-6 will be the determination of this. And ODDIK are going to be able to find themselves a 2-0 tonight with the 2 separate best-of-1s. And Sharks still have a lot more homework ahead of them to get themselves back in winning form. But again, we were talking about them being an 8-0, you know, sitting on a little bit of an undefeated